everyone, and welcome to this Video Song Frontier video. My name is Jay Wakefield, and today is May the 9th, only just, it's 11:45 at night, and before we move on with this video, I would like to say that I'm very much aware that London is in the grip of a protest which has turned quite nasty, actually. The police have got involved and they're being very thuggish, and I just don't like what's going on. But I can't say that I'm surprised. In fact, if I'm honest, I'm not. Because, well, people are not happy with the continued Tory rule down south. The Tories don't do anything for us. All they are bothered about is lining their own pockets as well as the pockets of their rich business friends. Now, that's not to say that I'm actually condoning what's going on down in London. I can't comment either way, thanks to, we don't have free speech. But I'm not entirely surprised about what's going on, And, with the government, they're already actually looking to tighten things down. They're already looking to cut access to work for people with disabilities. And there's been lots of talk about scrapping the Human Rights Act in the UK. That's very dangerous, People are, when I say people will not stand for it, it seems quite clear to me that they already are not standing for it. It's I honestly don't know how the Tories got in with the majority down in England. Anyway, that's enough of that. So, today we're actually going to be looking at my birthday present from Roadgeek on YouTube. Now, he actually gave me the money, and he said, get something that you want, not something you need. Well, I'm very much into music production, and since I migrated from a Mac to a PC, from Macs to PCs rather, I kind of missed having GarageBand. Now, I really don't want to go back to Mac. I don't like the direction that Apple is in at the moment, creating very expensive yet non-upgradable machines. With no optical drives and what have you. No, I don't like that. But what I've been after for some time is an older Mac, not necessarily anything too old, new enough to run OS X quite well, so that I could actually use GarageBand on it. Well, I managed to get something really quite nice. It was a wee bit older than I'd originally wanted. However, it's really, really not a bad call. I'd like to introduce you guys to the iBook G3 Snow. This is the 800 megahertz edition. It's got an 800 megahertz PowerPC G3 processor. It's got 256 megs of memory. I think there's 128 built in, and someone's added 256. No, someone's added another 128 meg module to make it 256. Personally, I would quite like to add a 512 megabyte module at some point to make it 640 megs. So let's have a wee look at this. So on the left side, you have the Kensington lock slot. You have, yes, and this seems quite, this does seem quite strange at the moment, nowadays, with Macs being the way they are. But there's a modem port. But then again, this was 2002, and a lot of people were still on dial-up. So, it's not that strange. It's just that, I bought my first Mac in 2008, and it was one of the white MacBooks. It came with Leopard. It was a it was a 2.2 gigahertz Intel Core 2 Duo machine. But yeah, it's quite odd seeing a newer Mac with a modem, I must admit. My PowerBook G3 Lombard had a modem port, if I remember rightly. Anyway, there's a modem, IEEE 12. No, hang on, no, but wait a minute. RJ45 Ethernet. You have FireWire, USB. There's two USB 2 ports, I believe. They're USB 2. A mini VGA port, I believe. And then a headphone and microphone socket. Then on the front, there really is nothing apart from the lid release. Now, even this lid release wasn't exactly it wasn't exactly the most standard of lid releases. Because what you have, and I only found this out from John Coates' video, you see there's a magnet in here. And you'll see there's absolutely nothing at the moment. There's no catch, or there appears to be no catch at the moment. But as I move this screen down closer to the latch, closer to the base, watch what happens. Oh, you see that? Oh, oh, oh. So what happens is a magnet down there pulls this catch out and actually closes the lid of the iBook. But when you open it up, there's no unsightly catch. You've got to love the design, the thought that Apple kind of put into the design of these things. I mean, it's not strictly necessary by any means, but it is quite neat. I mean, these are the little touches that make Apple what they were, you know. Certainly under Steve Jobs' ownership. So under Steve Jobs, you know, Apple did actually make some pretty interesting hardware. Now, on the right-hand side of this machine, we have a DVD CDRW combi drive, and then the power adapter, DC in. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get an original power adapter with this machine. I got a replacement power adapter, which means this is probably going to fry my iBook. But this is a very, very nice computer. I have been using it. I've had it for a wee while, and I've actually been using it and, you know, playing about with different things on it. And one of the things that, you know, I mean, it's good that it's a G3 Snow White edition, because while GeForce did support classic Macintosh, and I just think it kind of seems better on a G3. So, you know, it's a late enough G3 that it actually will have originally came with OS X. In fact, it did. But still kind of old enough, you know, to feel right at home running macOS Classic programs. Right. What I've done, however, is I've actually wiped the hard drive before this video. There's no partitions on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you... I'm actually going to show you how to install a copy of Mac OS. Now, this machine, I believe, will have originally came with Mac OS 10.2, otherwise known as Jaguar. But I've actually been running Tiger on this machine. Now, normally I wouldn't advocate running a system that's, you know, significantly newer than the machine it's going on. But Tiger does have a few features that that I actually do use. For example, it's the first version of macOS 10 to support large mouse pointers, and that alone is a selling point for me. However, it's also tidied up the user interface quite significantly, I think, from things like Panther and Jaguar and earlier versions of OS 10. Plus, it has Spotlight, which is a fantastic search tool, which debuted in Tiger and which still exists today in Yosemite. Anyway, let's open the machine up. Have a wee look at the inside. I like the kind of silvery, kind of sparkly white finish on this machine. It does kind of make it look quite nice, I will be honest. This is this is a nice looking machine, and in my opinion, it actually looks a heck of a lot better than the iBook, the original G4 PowerBook, which was made from titanium. It was silver with white accent and had a black keyboard. And I don't know, I just think the design of this iBook looks a lot better. Anyway, enough of staring at the machine. Let's power it on. Now, the Tiger DVD rather, is in the drive already. If it wasn't in the drive, when I powered on, I would need to press and hold the mouse button to eject the DVD drive. In fact, let's just kind of show you what happens, actually. I'm actually going to eject the DVD drive. So I'm just going to kind of show you what happens when your Mac does not have an operating system installed. Right. So what's happening is the machine's actually saying, "Hey, where's macOS? Can't find it. Don't know what to do. Feeling a wee bit upset. I want my mummy. Where's my teddy?" So what I'm going to do is simply insert the DVD. Now, I can't remember whether this will actually... Yep, it does. It's this is actually now automatically booted from the DVD. It's found a version of OS 10, so yep. Now you can see the Apple logo is there. And what this is going to do is it's going to boot into macOS 10 Tiger setup. Yeah, I must admit, I did like when macOS 10 was named after big cats. Now, because I've wiped the hard drive, it's got and I've left it with no partitions. What we're actually going to have to do here is boot into... we're actually going to have to go into Disk Utility and make a partition for OS 10. Just like we would make a partition for a Windows machine, either by using fdisk or within Windows Setup, excuse me, either using fdisk or using Windows Setup itself on later versions of Windows. But what I like about OS 10 is you get access to Disk Utility from within Setup, which is, provides a nice graphical user interface for actually being able to use, for being able to manage your hard disk. Now, I've actually connected my Microsoft Basic Optical Mouse 2.0 to this machine. In my last video, it was connected to my monochrome screened bottom of the line Toshiba T1910 from the early 90s. In this video, it's connected to a shiny white iBook. Now, we've got the welcome screen, and we want to use English as the main language here. So I'm just going to click to continue. So now it's preparing the installation, but before we can go ahead, like I've said, what I want to do is I want to go to Utilities, and then to Disk Utility. Now this, you'll have to do this if you've installed a new hard disk or you've wiped the partitions from your existing hard disk. However, if you already have a partition, you can actually just run setup and have it erase the hard disk. I'll show you, how that would be done. Now, creating a partition on here is very easy. What you do is you want to select the hard disk, which in this case is a 60 gigabyte drive. At least I think it is anyway. And then we're going to go to the partition tab. And I'm going to select one partition. There we go. And we're going to format it as Mac OS Extended Journaled. Now, I'm going to call it Macintosh HD. Just because I can, really. And, my OCD is quite bad in that way. Anyway, I'm going to click Partition and then select Partition again. Oh, and just in case you wanted to know, that dialog box said, partitioning a disk will destroy all information on the volume of the disk. This disk has one volume, Macintosh HD. Are you sure you want to partition the disk Toshiba, blah, 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 blah. Although before it would have said this disk, I don't know, didn't have any partitions or whatever. Anyway, so now we've done that, just going to cancel out of there. Going to actually close Disk Utility. Now, Mac OS X is famous for having a screen magnifier, but unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, you can't actually invoke it from within setup. Whoopsie. Anyway, so now we're ready to install, so I'm just going to click Continue. And then adhere to the license agreement. Now, if you already had a partition like I do here now, what you can do is go to Options and then select Erase and Install. And then that will just reformat the hard disk for you. So that's what I'm going to do just now. And then Mac OS, easy install on Macintosh HD. Click Install to perform a basic installation of this software package onto the volume Macintosh HD. Now I want to customize it because there's certain things that I don't need. For example, I don't need the additional printer drivers, nor do I need the language translation, but I will take X11. There we go, that will take 2 gigabytes. And now we're away to install. Now, I don't want to check the volume. I kind of feel like I'm doing an It's My Natural Colour video here. It's not very often you get to see Apple Macs on this channel. Not anymore, anyway. But I mean, I think that one of my favourite versions of, well, Tiger is possibly my favourite version of OS X, followed very, very closely by Snow Leopard. I just think when they got to, I mean, Mountain Lion was good, but it was awful bloaty. I kind of think they lost the plot when Lion was released. It's a bit of a shame, really. I mean, on my MacBook Pro, Lion ran absolutely fine. But on my iMac, there was problems. Certainly with the wireless kept disconnecting. Yeah. No, it wasn't that good. Anyway, best thing I can do now is go and make myself a cup of tea while this installs. So yes, it is a good idea to make a cup of tea while waiting for OS X to install, in the same way that it's a good idea to make a cup of tea while you're waiting on Windows installing. And I would say the same if you're using Linux, Unix, BSD, BOS, any of the other operating systems. Anyway, be back soon. Well, this is actually installing. It's been going now for a few minutes. I've not been timing it. But a couple of things I would like to say. If this were an older G3, something like a Lombard or a Pismo, or anything like that, I would actually be installing macOS Classic on there, even though they can run macOS up to 10.3.9. But the ones that actually came with Classic, I probably would use Classic on them, just because I think it would be a better fit. But I think with this one, Tiger does seem to run quite well on it. And I do like Tiger. So now we're just obviously letting it install the final few things. I like how it actually tells you what it's installing and the progress of it. In this version of OS X. I can't remember if it does that in newer versions, but I do like how it does it in this version. And I think some of the older ones do it as well. Now it's installing the Safari web browser. I remember that coming out, actually. Because before Safari, believe it or not, Apple used to use macOS used to actually come pre-bundled with Internet Explorer and Netscape Navigator. Well, earlier some versions came pre-bundled both with Internet Explorer and Netscape Navigator, and then OS X came with Internet Explorer as its main browser. Seemed quite odd, actually, if you think about it, because that's what Windows comes with, and it's a Microsoft thing. It seemed it made sense that Apple did eventually come up with their own browser, and what have you. Anyway, this kind of looks like it's nearing completion. So as soon as this is finished, now it's a way to install X11. I'm hoping that doesn't take too long. I believe that to be a 200 megabyte installation. X11, X11 will kind of give you an idea as to what macOS X is all about. See, unlike the classic versions of macOS, this is actually built upon the BSD kernel, which is in turn an offshoot of Unix. So, you do have a lot of the inherent Unix stability running under the hood of macOS X, but that does not mean that you should not protect your Mac with antivirus and what have you. A lot of people seem to make the mistake that they, and I've done it as well, I admit that, but a lot of people do seem to make the mistake that they don't need antivirus software with a Mac. And, a lot of people have actually gotten into trouble that way. No, nowadays with a Mac you do need antivirus software in the same way as you do if you're running Windows. It's... As a platform becomes popular, virus writers will try and find holes and, exploit those holes. This is why, you need antivirus software on your smartphone nowadays. Anyway, alright. software is successfully installed, the computer will restart in so many seconds. No, it won't. It's going to restart now because I'm going to make it. And then we'll get to see one of the very nice things about the about the 2000s Macs. And it's a shame they stopped this with Lion. But then again, they stopped a lot of what made Macs great with Lion, I think. So I'm just ejecting the DVD. And now, get ready, peoples, for a lovely treat. This is the first time we're starting this install of macOS 10. And yes, it is taking a wee while because it's the first time it's been started. As soon as you've got everything set up, you know, it usually becomes quite a bit quicker. Like I said, I mean, I certainly would not run Tiger on a machine that was slower than this. The spinning white. Doi, doi, doi. Boo, boo. Oh, here we go. I love the intro videos, and I especially love this music. Right, so I'm going to select my language, United Kingdom, well, the sister country or region that I'm in. Now, I must add that when we do become independent, I don't see Apple releasing a patch to make macOS 10 Tiger acknowledge that Scotland is its own country, because Tiger is actually out of support now and has been for a number of years. I don't wish to migrate any information. I have used this before, you know, when I upgraded from my white MacBook to my MacBook Pro back in 2009, and it works pretty well, actually. How do I connect to the internet? At the moment, my computer does not connect to the internet. So I'm just going to say my computer does not connect to the internet. Now I'm going to fill in my information, so I'll be right back. Okay, so a couple more questions. Again, it does not appear that you can use the magnifier in this portion of setup. What will I primarily use this computer? Home. What best describes what I do? I would say IT. Don't keep me up to date with Apple News software updates and the latest information on products and services to help me make the most of my Apple products. Now I want to create my account. Username J. I'm gonna type in a password. If I had an iSight connected to this, I could take a goofy wee picture of myself like I used to do on my MacBook Pro or my iMac. I'll register later. And what I like about this is you can actually select, you can select stuff from the map, and you can actually select cities in the UK that aren't London. So the capital of Scotland, which is Edinburgh, or the capital of Wales, which is Cardiff, or the capital of Northern Ireland, which is Belfast. There you go. Closest city to me is Edinburgh. Right, I'll set the time. This machine's battery, this machine's backup battery has basically, well, it's decided it's time for a picnic. So obviously that doesn't work. So now it's actually the 10th of May. Because the, you know, it got past midnight, you know, while I was installing OS 10. The current time, hang on, nope, this actually does support 24-hour time. Now that I've set it to the British locale, I want to say it's 32 minutes past midnight. There we go. Save, continue. Don't forget to register. When you're ready to register your Apple product, set up your internet connection in the network pane of System Preferences, then double click the Send Registration file in your home folder. If you want to register several computers at the same time, go to www.apple.com/register. The warranty for your Apple product does not require you to register the product. Enjoy your Apple computer. Well, thank you. And now the machine is just setting up my user account. And we're away to see the desktop. There it is. macOS Tiger desktop in all of its beautiful glory. Wow. This is fantastic. I do like this version of OS 10. A couple of little housekeeping things I would like to take care of. I want to drag the applications folder down there, make a shortcut to it on the dock. Now I do realise that unlike with OS 10 Leopard or above, it's not going to fan out or it's or you know, kind of pop up a wee pop-up view of the folder. Literally, this will just open the applications folder in a Finder window, but that's okay. You know, it's actually still quite easy to do that. Second thing I want to do, I would like to Command Option 8, and then Command Option Plus, because now we can actually start Zoom. Go System Preferences. Keyboard and mouse. No, that's not what I want, is it? Although I will actually change up the mouse, the tracking speed of the actual mouse. Notice how the mouse has its own option that's independent of the trackpad as well. So now I want to go to Universal Access. And I want to go to Mouse and Trackpad. And then cursor size. Set it to Flaming Massive. There we go. You have a sliding scale, unlike Windows, where you have like different pointer schemes. See, and now I can actually see this absolutely fantastically. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I need to take care of right now. Don't think there is. But anyway, I do have a lot to do with this computer, I realise, and I want to show you all of what I'm doing with this computer. And there seems to be people shouting outside. Great stuff. Saturday night. Now, like I said, I want to show you all what I'm doing with this machine, but if I was to show you everything in this video, it would be gargantuan. So what I've decided to do is kind of split up into different videos all the things I want to do. So, I mean, for example, I want to install an airport card in this machine, as it doesn't have one. I have the card here. Bought it on eBay. I want to set up the classic environment. I don't have a Macintosh, a Mac OS 9 disk that would actually go to this computer. So I'm going to actually show you how to set up the classic environment using a regular Mac OS 9.2 disk. And I'm also going to want to set up all of my applications, including iLife 05. So, that concludes this video. I hope you will all join me for my next videos. If you like what you see, please feel free to subscribe and to like videos on Frontier on Facebook. But apart from that, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you will all join me for my next one.